What's up everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to my throwback videos of my first test cycle. Please keep in mind that these videos are very old and I am re-uploading them to enjoy the cringe and to show my full honest journey and to document all the side effects and all the negatives I experienced. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I am going to plug my Instagram. Please subscribe here because I will be documenting my next cycle in video format similar to this first cycle. But if you need to message me, get a hold of me, and want to see what I currently look like, please follow me on Instagram at RussoLifts. Enjoy the test cycle video. What's up everyone, it's Russo. Today I'm going to be talking about meal prep and if it fits in your macros versus a more standard like bodybuilder meal prep like this. And I think this is an interesting topic because Liam is currently in show prep and he chose to do the more tedious way of not just doing straight if it fits in your macros. And he's actually been prepping all his meals, and I just wanted to go into how if it fits your macros really seems to be like the fad of right now, and there's just going to be a few things that Liam says on why doing it this way is probably better, especially if you're doing a show or you're really serious about getting shredded. Because if it fits in your macros, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but there's a lot more things you can control when you have all your meals laid out like this. But obviously this is more tedious. So why did you pick prepping all your meals versus just tracking in and out calories every day? Like, why go through all this?
The biggest thing is accuracy and timing. This takes 3 hours to make on one day of the week, and for the rest of the week, if I want a meal, I get it in 2 minutes. And that's the easiest thing that you could possibly do as a bodybuilder, because you're going to be hungry and get cravings, so it's nice to be able to meal whenever you want. And the other big thing is nutrient timing. All these meals are at specific times before or after my workout, or for breakfast to reduce maybe cortisol or increase muscle building during my workout. So I'll increase my carbs before my workout so I can reduce the muscle degradation and hopefully achieve.
That's a big word.
Okay.
What is muscle degradation?
So there's studies that are showing that when you increase your carbs with a high glycemic index carb, which is like a fast carb, so like I'm going to use maltodextrin intra-workout. There's studies that show...
Okay, what is maltodextrin?
It's a fast-acting sugar, basically, that a lot of... You can get it as a pre-workout for like $20.
It's basically like a supplement, or in the carb supplements, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's called like Carb Up or something like that. There's a ton of products out there for it. But if I'm taking that intra-workout, there's studies that show that cortisol reduces by 10%. And cortisol is a hormone that can reduce your muscle because it reduces your testosterone's affinity for receptors. And the other thing that it's shown is that it reduces muscle atrophy.
He's a big science guy. I don't know how you guys get like science or technical terms.
Basically, it lets you keep your gains when you're in a calorie deficit.
There you go.
Sorry,
you gotta just bring them slow with some easy vocab words. But another big thing that I think he's not touching on is sodium intake. See, when you have all this laid out, your sodium intake is going to constantly be the same. And the biggest thing I see people who show prep on if it fits your macros is constantly, when you're just picking foods every day to meet your intake, your sodium's going up and down. And when he constantly has a sodium at one level, come prep week, come like the week where he needs to fill out, he's a really good baseline of sodium so he can raise it to really fill out into a show, so it's not constantly moving.
And also having those steady sodium, like a steady wave of sodium will let me know exactly where I'm at, because my water retention isn't going to be going up and down with the sodium. So I'll know if I'm vascular enough, I'll know if I'm lean enough for peak week. So if I do need to jack up my sodium, I'll already know because I have such a good baseline developed.
Yeah, and he'll also have again, like you said, an accurate representation of how much weight he's losing too. So he's on point. So I know I talk about sodium a lot, especially with LGD, because basically to lose weight on LGD I have to keep my sodium as low as possible. Is there any other things you have that?
The other thing is like just convenience. I'm a college student, I'm a biomedical engineering student. I have classes pretty much at 9 to 5 every day, and it's nice that I don't have to find food that fits my macros, I just grab one of these, leave, find a microwave on campus, and I have a meal ready whenever I need it.
So yeah, like, if it fits your macros, it's like flexible, but the way Liam's turning it around is I have to find something to eat that fits in my macros versus when you have it all planned out. It's actually more convenient, but that's another big thing he spun around.
So like the last thing that I could think of is cravings. I've really not had very many cravings unless I have a really intense leg workout, which Russo loves to help me with. And as long as I'm not killing my CNS and just destroying my body that day, I have no cravings because I know when my meals are, and my body is finally starting to get used to the meal timing after 2 weeks. So I don't have to worry about being starving or wanting to look at something. I mean, my parents cook a different meal every time I'm eating, and I'm completely fine with them cooking terribly fatty meals the whole time and still happy to just eat my food because I'm getting so used to it.
And touching on that is his sugar intake is obviously very low.
Yeah, it's about 3 grams per day.
Extremely, almost non-existent. So when you're doing if it fits in your macros, you can eat those protein bars that I was looking at Sheets that have grams and grams of sugar alcohol. Again, sugar is highly addictive. I actually wrote like a 12-page research paper on how addictive sugar is because I did a whole study on fast food. So when you're cutting that sugar out, like you said, you're less often to cheat, you're less often to look at stuff because your body's so used to not having that sugar, that addictive property of sugar there. So that'll even keep you on track for your show even more. That was a very good point.
Yeah, and branching off of what he's saying is, if it fits your macros can be really eerie because not everybody really tells the exact truth about their macros and their calories. I mean, we eat things like Kodiak cakes and protein bars, and the FDA really isn't that good at checking all of our food. They're kind of just like breeze through it, put it in the calorimeter 3 times, average it out, figure it out from there. But when you eat that stuff, there might be sugar alcohols that they don't have to include on the label. And with the sugar alcohol, usually you do 2 sugar alcohols equals 1 gram of sugar. So if you have 20 grams of sugar alcohols and it's not on the label, you're getting 10 grams of sugar that you're digesting but you don't know, and you may not have counted those calories. And that's why you'll see on these random foods that the calories are higher than the macros actually tell. So the FDA isn't really good at giving a good guideline for companies to use. So you can't really always trust the foods you're eating. That's why you always keep it really simple. I mean, I eat 4 foods. That's it. But I know exactly what I'm getting every time.
Yeah, it's like me and Liam are always questioning like the Kodiak cakes, chocolate.
They're so good.
They're so good, and I just look at the macros and I'm like, there's no fucking way. And then the Weight Watcher stuff, like those Weight Watcher branded items just always seem too good to be true. Again, if you're serious about shredding up, if you're serious, like I'm talking really serious about shredding up or doing a show, maybe macro tracking is actually harder to do, even though right now it seems like macro tracking is the thing. Maybe you could look at just a standard way. It's not the most glamorous way to eat, but it's eating for performance, and when you spend all your time trying to look like a certain way, when you're putting sugar or sodiums all getting in the way, why not just take it out? And that's the whole point of this video. I don't know, I'm not totally against it if it fits in your macros. It's definitely good for if you're trying to bulk up or you're just trying to maintain your weight. And you still want to be conscious of your food, but if you're serious about shredding up, why track your macros? Why not just get something set up like this and just, you automatically know, again, where you are. No bullshit.
Yeah, and right now I'm about 11 weeks out, so he'll keep up with how lean I'm getting, and we'll kind of show you the progress of what meal prepping brought for me.
Honestly, he's already lost a ton of that sodium, again, the artificial sweetener bloat, like all that left.
Yeah, the first week I easily lost 8 pounds. I mean, it was quick. I did 1 thing of cardio and I had 1 hard leg day and I lost 8 pounds easy.
Yeah, so it just shows you how much sodium, sugar, all that artificial bullshit, once you take that out, how much that plays a role. So just some food for thought. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this different type of video. As always, if you're just stopping in, make sure to subscribe, and apparently click the bell because random people are getting unsubscribed from my channel. But I will see you guys in my next one.